Hey guys, welcome to WealthCast by Standard Chartered. I'm here with Tosin, Chima, and DK. Sorry.
Yeah, Chima.
That's
DK.
Yeah. We're going to be talking about how women can multiply their money. Being that it's International Women's Month, I think it's the right time for us to talk about how women can actually invest and make that, exponential growth over time with their money. Tosin is, a money guru, but I'm going to be allowing each one introduce themselves. For me, I'm an actor, content creator, and producer. So yeah, Tosin.
My name is Tosin Olasende. I'm the founder of Money Africa. Just talk about money evangelists. We teach everything about money.
Okay, I'm intimidated. My name is DK Nzedike. I head investment advisory for Standard Chartered Bank.
All right, thank you. My name is Chima Ebo. I head the affluent banking for Standard Chartered Bank. And when I say affluent banking, this is banking for people who had really worked, for their money. People who want to have an opportunity to multiply their wealth. People who want to leave legacy. People who are concerned about today, tomorrow, and forever. Those are the kind of clients, that we manage within the affluent banking.
Awesome. So you're the one that women should coach, hold on the road and say, please, we want to give you our money.
Yes.
I love it. Love it. When we were coming here and I was thinking about how, women can invest, a couple of things occurred to me. But the first thing is, I think that women are beginning to change the narrative. There was a long history of women not earning enough or women not having the right to earn or, get money or keep money themselves and property. But I think that over the last couple of 5 years, women have been able to, we've made an advancement in a society. So to be honest, I feel like women make money. That's most times more money than men. Look, Tosin, I was talking with a friend of mine and, he has a store where they sell Apple products, laptops, phones and all of that. And he's like, men are the ones that take the initiative and have the heart to say, I'll sell a product of 1 million naira and my profit on it is 10,000 and they're okay. Women, if it's not Brazilian hair, I'm not selling because they will get a product at cost of 250. If they're not getting 500k back, I don't have time. They want to have shawarma every day. So what do you guys think about that? Because I feel like, women make a lot of money and they are in business that makes them a lot of money.
Okay, so because of the nature of our work, I'm obsessed with data and numbers. So the truth is, on the outside, it might look as though, they're making a whole lot of money. We see a couple of them on Instagram and all of that, but based on data, we're still far from that. We're not there yet. Looking at the average of every woman, right? So we're not there yet. Yes, there are lots of, women making strides, making more money, but in terms of average, we're not there yet.
But there are more women than men now, if we take census.
I believe so.
Right.
So now, what you've said is the reason why Chima is very, very passionate about women winning with wealth. So she'll tell you about it. She's very energized. You'll see she'll start smiling when she starts talking about women.
Okay, so we have a program in the bank called Women Winning with Wealth. Every year we come and we celebrate International Women's Day. You see a lot of women talk about, inequality here and there. How can we change the narratives? Sometimes you ask yourself, in a family when the father, passes on everybody. Yes, you cry, you're very pained and all of that. What's next? Everybody's expecting a will to be read, because there's something to be inherited. But when a woman dies, it's so painful because, yes, you've lost your mom, but there's no will to inherit. You understand? So for me, there's a lot of opportunity that, women, you have to really, really be conscious of one, you think about tomorrow. You think about, the legacy that you're leaving behind. Everyone wants mommy's money. So daddy just gives the money, pay the school fees, give you your money. But there's still other things that you require. Who are you going to call mommy? So at the end of the day, mommy income to invest is small. Because mommy has given you other monies. I want to buy hair. You're not going to tell daddy. You're going to tell mommy, right? And so you see that mommy's money is everybody's money. And then daddy's money is that big money to buy the property, the big money to do investment and all of that. But the truth is, if truly we are supporting, then we need to support really The last election, we saw people taking forms at 100 million. How many women today can go and take the presidential form at 100 million naira? Have they accumulated that kind of money, or are they going to look for a male sponsor? So we're saying that the beginning of women inequality, which we are trying to solve that, is that you must empower a woman financially. And it's a decision that you have to take deliberately. It's not something that you stump over. You don't wake up and you said, oh, I'm just waiting for quick rich syndrome. No. You have to make that deliberate choice that this is where I want to be in my finance. And that's why we started the Women Winning with Wealth program, to say, as a woman, you can win. You can be ahead of, your contemporaries. You can fight for whatever inequality and all of that. But while you are doing that, know that those things, they cost money. And then you need to be very conscious of it.
Wow.
So that's the reason.
I really love the angle you came from, and I love the practical examples, because every time we have this conversation, there's a data that says that whenever a woman makes money, there's a higher chance for her to spend it on the community and her children,
Right.
as
Sure.
opposed to men. So the
Right.
data, I love data. Data always backs that. So that's
But even
interesting.
apart from data, because like I said, you're the prof when it comes to money. Forget in real life. Like when I was in school and I needed money, now my mama they call. Like I'll call my mom. Mom, I need money. And how she'll send it to me, I don't know. Whether it's collected from daddy or whether she will go and sell whatever to give me money. But I mean, like I always heard, when you want to solve poverty in a society, in a community, in a nation, you have to give money to women. Because in the hands of women, money trickles down. They will have to give their siblings, their children, their care bearers, their nurturers. So I've seen that firsthand, Now, when we come to, women taking that gumption, I think that, like you said, it has to be a concerted communal effort. Everybody has to help, because if we've all benefited from money, from mummies and from women, then we should all help to make sure that mommy is taken care of and women are taken care of in our society. So, big shout out to Standard Chartered for doing this. But in your own, terms, like, why should women, take the extra step to take care of themselves, not just other people, and invest?
Okay, so for us in Standard Chartered, when we're thinking about wealth, we think today, tomorrow, forever. Right? And for today, we think about, okay, do you have passive income that can take care of your immediate expenses? Now, this is not about how much from your hustle, right? And when you think about the woman, the question is, are you someone who would always depend on monies from the man to run the things that you want to do? Or have you built a portfolio that takes care of your passive, your expenses? You want to buy a hair, you want to buy a bag, it's the $500 a month that comes into your portfolio, or the money that comes from your government bonds, coupons every 6 months that you can actually use to execute things. Next thing, of course, is tomorrow. What happens when you retire? Because whether we like it or not, we will all retire. She will retire. Now, I usually ask people this question: do you want to be a dependent, a grandparent, or an ancestor? Now, question.
You know the meaning, the difference?
Do you know the difference?
Tika is going to explain that.
Yes.
Say that again.
Do you want to be a dependent,
dependent,
a grandparent,
a grandparent,
or an ancestor?
So dependent means that I don't want to use the word
Yes.
liability. Then a grandparent could be like, I'm still giving, I'm taking care. An ancestor would be someone that can give to the next generation.
Yeah, well,
That's it.
Yes, you got it. So, do you want to be that person or that grandma who can travel and smell the roses whenever she wants, visit the child whenever she wants, and when you're leaving, you still live, 100 naira here, 100,000 naira here, $100 there. Pretty much dish it out, right? You're not expecting the first daughter to send you money or your first son to send you money. Doing that, to be able to do that, which is your tomorrow, you actually have to build
now.
that portfolio now. I mean, because wealth is created gradually and consistently over time. Chima said earlier that I'll talk about 200 years and all of that. But whether you like it or not, you must start. And you can't stop, right? You can't stop till the very last. And then, of course, legacy. Forever. You want them to say, okay, this is the estate of XYZ person. These are the descendants of, right? And then all that happens is once a year, or once in 6 months, the administrators of the estate come together and say, okay, money has come. This is for your daughter's school fees. This is for this is for that. It starts from, it doesn't have to be the man. right? Where I come from, inheritance is matrilineal, funny enough. So it's,
Really?
yeah.
Where is this?
It's Senabia State.
Oh, nice.
Right? So you actually have to think about that. So there are some communities that already understand that. Of course, the reason is a little bit different, but it's there. So you have to think about it today, tomorrow, forever. As a woman, right? How independent will I be now? And of course, when I retire and later on. Yeah, and of course, you might not always have the man around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Justin, do you think that with your data, do you think that women are open to investing and a lot of women are beginning to do it now?
Okay, I want to pick up from where you stopped talking about how, your partner might not be always around. Again, going back to data, women have a longer life expectancy than their men.
Yeah.
And that is why we need to be more aggressive. The data shows that women live longer than men, right? So in that time frame, when even average the partner is not there, what happens? So now coming back to your question, yes, it does. It shows that they are more open to it. A lot of people will say things like women are risk averse, and I reject that statement. The right word they are looking for is women are risk aware. They are risk aware. So a situation where as a man can put like 100% of his funds in cryptocurrency,
Look,
woman is like, you know what, I'd rather go this path, and maybe I'll do savings, maybe I'll do a low risk and things like that. So they are not risk averse, they are risk aware.
Justin, take
Yes.
my wig, drag am. Call my name already. Just expose me.
So once they understand how investment works thoroughly, they end up being better investors because by nature, they're already risk aware. How do we navigate this? So I do not like that word risk averse. I prefer risk aware. So this movement and this conversation that we're having is very, very important. And that's why we need to take it to the grassroots. We need to start with the children early. Now, there's research that states that by the age of 7, the mindset of a child about money has been formed. Now, if we missed, so everybody keeps talking about how wealthy Warren Buffett is, but guess what his age was? He started investing at the age of 11. And if we're keeping it real, please, dear, he did not do it by himself. Have you read about his parents? They played a role there. So if you've missed that, you owe it to your kids, and you cannot teach them what you do not know. So if anyone is looking for motivation to understand how money works, think of this at least for your children. They're watching you.
Yeah, sure.
I was at the supermarket the other time and I saw a mother and her daughter doing shopping. And her daughter was saying, if I buy this Barbie, I won't be able to buy it. I was like, yes, she's learning opportunity costs. She's learning how to make decisions. She's learning how budgeting works, things like that. So they were doing that shopping together and this child was making a decision. If I pick that, I can't pick this. Bro, it's as simple as that. So starting those conversations, and you can't teach what you don't know. You can't give what you don't have. You can't invest money you don't have. So motivation. If anybody said, oh my gosh, I'm not in my 30s, so it's too late, or I'm not in my 40s, so it's too late. Your children are watching you. So that's motivation to actually start. And it's never too late to start. I love to use a scenario. So let's say, for instance, and I know many people are going to talk about things like currency depreciation, inflation. Let's keep it simple. Let's keep it simple, guys. Let's keep it simple. Let's say you started investing 20,000 naira. You finished NYC, you're 25. Again, I say, oh, so people don't finish university early. I know, let's just keep it simple as example. You're 25, you're doing NYSC. Maybe the government pays, I think it's 20,000 naira, 19,600, yeah?
Wow, that's a lot now.
And then the government, and then your company, let's say they pay you 80K or something like that. You're putting 20,000 naira away monthly towards investment, and it's compounding at 10% per annum. In the next 45 years, guess how much that's going to be? Just from doing 20% monthly, guess.
Humor me.
211 million naira. Just from doing 20K on a monthly basis. Now, let me get it interesting. If you started 10 years later, guess what? It's going to be just 76 million.
Yeah.
You'd have lost 135 million because you started 10 years late. Now, a lot of people are under the impression that you need to have a large amount of money, or that they're waiting, because you know how it is when they become a chartered accountant, when they become a director, you have all this big, nice, and that's the truth. And also, as Nigerians, the average Nigerians are optimistic. So we are waiting because everybody's like hoping that they just hit gold, something is going to happen. We go to church and we hear all this nice motivation. So they delay it because they are hoping for it, which is not a bad thing in itself, but you have to start where you are with what you have, because compounding is the number to the game.
You know, Tosin, two things I'm going to say here.
Yeah.
First one is about teaching our children early.
Yes.
It's very important. I made a social media post, I think that was last year, when my first son had his preteen party. So he got money. And then, so he asked me, so mommy, my money. So I brought the money out, the cash that I had with me. And I said, so how are you going to, what do you want to do with the money? And he came back to what I taught him. Because in my house, when you have money, you have to divide it into 3. So there's money to save, there's money to give, and there's money to spend.
I love money to give. People talk a lot about money to save, money to spend, but
and
they don't
money
talk
to
a lot
give.
about giving. But carry on.
Yes.
Okay.
So he had to, he divided, he said, okay, so this is what I'm doing. You know, I'm keeping this amount in the bank, in my account. You know, because we have something for the children in Standard Chartered, you know, aside from the investment, you know, when you have A's, you know, these people who are in secondary school, for every A that, you know, you get at the end of the term, the bank pays you $5 in exchange.
Wow.
Okay, not bad.
So we also, you know, supporting investment with good behavior. We're telling the children that when you're in school, you take your studies, you know, seriously and all of that. And then when we get the money, we'll put it in an account for them to invest. So back to my story. So my son said, I'm going to save this. I'm going to give this, you know. So he has that consciousness that we have some monies that we keep aside for giving. And he said, I'm going to give this. I'm giving this through the church. I'm giving to the people, you know, on the street when we're going out and all of that. And then this other one, I'm going to spend it. And then so what do you want to spend it on? He didn't have any need, actually.
No way. No way.
Because he was saying, you know, things that you want to buy toys, you want to buy this, you want to, you know, they were not really like things that are not need and all of it. So it's really important, you know, that we start early. However, it's never too late.
It's not.
Even if you're 40
It's not.
already, and you have spent all your money buying the, you know, expensive designer bags and all of that, and you're just getting this education, just stop, you know, consuming everything and start saving. Even if you're 50 years, it's still better, you know, for you to start now than for you to say, you know what, I've passed redemption. You know, there's nothing anybody can do for me again. Let me just go ahead
And just
and make those, you know, spend and all of that. You can make, the way people are talking about lifestyle changes, that you're seeing the benefit, is the same way we should talk about, you know, those financial changes, those very good habits of keeping money aside. No matter how much you earn, learn to save first and then you spend, you know, and then you take your decision. Do I want to give and how? And look at the environment where we are. And especially for women, you know, if people have impression that you have money, you know, the rich auntie syndrome, how it is in Nigeria. So somebody is somewhere, the rent is due, is going to call you. So if you don't invest that money, emotion is going to take a hold of you. And so you give the person, and then somebody comes and says, please borrow me 100,000. I will pay you next month. That 100,000 may even be the beginning of your quarrel with that person, if that person is your friend.
yeah.
So you have to take that decision now.
Yeah.
And that's why for us in Standard Chartered, we have, you know, series of products where you can do monthly investment. Either you're going to the government bonds, you know, I just invest 100,000 naira on a monthly basis. Or if you want to hedge and you're thinking of investing in foreign currency and all of that, then you can also come to us. So our goal is to support you while you build this lifestyle changes, whatever stage of life that you are. But more importantly, for Women Winning with Wealth, we are actively supporting women. We're creating a community. We're creating a program where we bring in women together, and then we share, you know, messages like this. And then you see other women who, you know, have the same, you know, the same things with you, who have the same goal and all of that. When we launched this program, there's a lady, she didn't have an account with us, but her husband had an account with us. But she came for the event, she heard about it, and she told the husband that she wanted to start investment. The husband was so excited. The husband said, you are asking me money for investment? You didn't ask me money to buy hair or money for trip or anything. She asked for 5 million. The husband gave her 10 million. And she started the federal government bond. And every time she sees me, she's very excited. Say, Chima, my money had increased. Please tell my RM next month. I want to do this. She's so excited about it. And the husband too. You know, the husband is saying, my wife is discussing, investment. The man feel, very relaxed. I'm talking about life expectancy. So the man knows that, if I use Nigerian word, God forbid, if anything happens, this woman is very conscious about investment. Whatever it is that he's going to leave behind, the woman can manage it. So that's why we have this program. We have master classes where we bring in women together and we teach them, some principles of investment, and then we take them through. And for us, we don't just sell investment and leave you, because we understand that outlook, things could change in the environment and all of that. We assign you to a relationship manager. We assign you to an investment advisor who is an expert when it has to do with investment. And then periodically they review, your portfolio. They'll tell you what to do, how best you can, position yourself to get the maximum return and all of that. And we also support you with lending, which is another messaging that we're sending to women. Like you talked about, crypto, how men, could do some other riskier and all of that. Women somehow, we're not as bold as the men. A man wants to do leverage. A man wants to already have an investment. He's taking that investment, releasing their cash on it to buy another investment, and they are making money. And we're saying to the women, if your investment profile suits that, please, let's be bolder in what we want to do. A man buys a property, and he's not just looking at that property. Every 5 years, he's calling a valuer, or 2 years or 3 years. Please revalue this property. I want to refinance. He's taking out equity. He's buying another property. He's getting rental income here and there. Women need to be bolder. And, don't say, oh, I already have property in Lekki. Good. But don't stop there.
I want to jump in there. I don't think the word is actually bolder. I think it's more about awareness. So like now we're going for cocktails, we're going for brunches. We need to start having this conversation more.
Sure.
And the more we have this conversation, then it's easier for people to make those moves and make those steps. So you know how it is when you hear things over. I think there's a research that states that you need to hear something about 7 times before people start making those moves. Also, I noticed that, again, when men hang out, there's a higher chance of them talking about investment.
Sure.
So this conversation, and you cannot have a conversation about what you're not aware of, right? So we just need to keep, and you start seeing those changes. Like, start seeing people making those moves, but we are on a journey and we'll get there.
Wow. Just listening to everything you said, I picked up on a couple of things. I'm a girl dad, and, I had this, lofty ideas. I want to teach her how to make wealth. I want to make her learn how to use money. Now Robert's hit the road. She's 2, and I just feel like I need more practical, lessons and, on how to begin to think on how can I make my daughter, make sure that she understands money and knows how to put money to use. I heard you talking about, what you were doing with your kids and all of that. And I think just listening through, I can see that, you guys have like a plan. The bank has a plan with people from, younging to olding, from children to adulting, from, a student to becoming a businessman or a retiree. So what are those things that, your bank has done to help children even make money or make better money decisions?
Okay. So it's quite interesting. I'll start with you though. I'll ask you one question, then I'll talk about.
Yes.
What's your number?
Like it's a phone number?
No, my number.
What's your number?
What's my number?
If you had that amount now,
yes, now,
right?
That's what I was
you would
just thinking
cease to work. You would not do anything.
Not work.
Yes.
Hey, $100 million.
It's easy to say,
I know.
because if I ask you why, you probably won't be able to explain it. But back to the kids. Hold that thought. We'll get back to it. Now, back to the kids. So we have several initiatives from, financial literacy for schools. So Chima's team, people do it as CSR, and it's ongoing. So we go to schools, teach children about money, finances. Several schools in Lagos, across the country actually, in all our branches, our staff go to teach children. So from schools, we do that. Then we also have a goals initiative that we work with schools to educate them about a whole lot of stuff, financial literacy and all of that. And then, of course, going all the way up to women in tech. We have programs in the bank, a tech incubator for women. All of this is to enable them, through their life journey. Now, back to you, and who is the girl dad, and of course you, Tosin. When I ask you what your number is, right? You remember we talked about today, tomorrow, forever. When I say your number, the question is, when you retire, how much you think you will need to earn on a month-to-month basis? Ever thought about it?
Oh, yes. I tweeted it not too long ago that I'm going to be a billionaire. I'm talking in US dollars.
Okay.
So, so we're building towards that.
You're building towards that. You've not thought about it.
My brother, I've thought.
Do you know how much? Any question?
Do you think, I'm going to pause this now, no thought about it? Every day we think about it in Nigeria. What believe?
we all have these wonderful numbers in our heads.
But at the end of the day, it's having someone take you by the hand. I mean, I've had sessions with, Money Africa. It's having people say, this is how to do it. This is what to do. This is what is, looking green. This is the time to hold back. This is the time to pump.
So here's our process. Now, my former boss used to say, if you wait till you earn enough to save and invest, right? If you think you don't earn enough to save and invest, you're the one most in need to save and invest.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So if you think you don't earn enough to save and invest, you actually are the one most in need to save and invest. So number one, of course, is start early. Now, starting early doesn't have to be when you're a kid. Starting early is just when you wake up.
Anytime you wake up is your morning.
It's your morning. So start early and then, of course, reinvest again. But before you even do that, what we do within the bank is saying, okay, first and foremost, we are not all the same. You people have spoken about men who are aggressive. There are some men who are risk averse.
Seriously.
They do not want to do any form of investment. So what we do basically, first and foremost, is say, you know what? Do client investment profiling. You sound very aggressive. You sound like you want to be a billionaire. Then we ask you a couple of questions. How do you react if the market dropped 5%, 10%, 15%? Then you see people bulk and walk away. So our client investment profiling puts you in a bucket. We have a rating scale, 1 to 6. From 1 being risk averse to 6 being highly aggressive. Because all investment products have some measure of risk attached to them, right? And of course, you're looking for higher risk, there's higher reward, lower risk, low reward. Key thing though is knowing who you are. When we know who you are, we can now say, okay, these are the products that match you, match your profile. After that, the next question is, what do you want to achieve and how much disposable income do you have? And we now begin to give you all the products along, that are in that. So there are some people who say, you know what, I just finished school, I just started working, I've gotten my 1-2 pay raises, how much can I invest? I was okay, look, you can actually do 100,000 naira. Buy a government bond. But the question is, why am I buying that government bond? It's a means to an end. So I'm starting this journey because I actually want 1 billion sometime in the future, right? So I'll do 100,000 today. Next month, I'll do 100. Before you know it, at the end of the year, I would have done about 1.2.
1.2, yeah.
Okay? Or you can say, I want to invest $100 monthly and I'll be earning income. And then every 6 months to 1 year, you have a discussion with your investment advisor, your relationship manager. And then we look at the portfolio, look at what's happening in the market, and you start the journey again. The whole idea, of course, is to understand that there's something for everybody. There's a product that will match your profile. If you're risk averse, carry your money, put it under your suitcase and fight off the rats in your house. But of course, you will never grow money like that.
Now, I want to touch on advantages of, putting money with the bank. Or should I say the disadvantages? And it depends on how you tackle that issue. I mean, this is Nigeria. There's Jackpot syndrome. Anybody who's going to be investing is tying themselves down to that place. So imagine a woman who is waiting to leave Nigeria, as in a couple of years, I want to leave this place, or in a couple of months, I want to leave. And we're saying, put money and invest. Or people are saying, please, I want to marry. Once I marry, I'm out. Now, we live in a globalized world, and I hope, and I think that we need to touch on how people are, on how people trust banking systems, or, how banking systems have been able to fit into the new world where we are. Because it shouldn't be based on geographical locations anymore. So if I put money in a bank, can I access it anywhere I am in the world? How would you advise a woman who wants to put money and say, look, I want to invest, but the truth is my bigger plan is I want to be out. If I put money here, and I go to Canada, I go to the US, will I have access to it? Will I have, will I be able to say and be confident to say that there's a bank that is managing my funds or my wealth, and I can access them from wherever I am? There's a branch here, or I can always reach out and be like, yo, we're cool, we're safe. So how, can women have that confidence, or what are you going to say to make women, make that kind of decision?
So to respond to your question, Standard Chartered Bank is an international bank. We've been around for over 120 years. We're in over 70 countries in the world. Yes, we have deep local knowledge. We also leverage on our presence, across Africa, Asia, Middle East, some part of America and all of that. Now, you talked about the world being a global village. Yes, it's a global village, but there are cross-border rules, also, because this is finance we're talking about. This is money. We have regulators and all of that, So if any bank comes and said, oh, anywhere you are in the world, you will be able to physically go to a branch and all of that, you're not also speaking in line with the global village, because you don't necessarily have to walk in, into a physical branch, for you to say, I have an account. What you should look at is, if I'm a global citizen, do I have a bank, where anywhere I am in the world, I'm able to meet either my investment need or my transactional needs and all of that. And that's what Standard Chartered Bank, affluent banking, that's what it is. We believe that, we have supported the affluent clients, in their journey. So either you're traveling, we give you cards, where with your account here, you can transact with your cards, and we have higher limits. We have the Infinity card where if you want to have access to $1 million in your account, if you have that amount of money in your account, and if their rule in that country permits, you can spend as much as you like.
Yeah, but when you're investing, are you spending or you're,
No, I'm going somewhere.
Okay.
So this is because you have to really think of today. You have to think of your transactions. How simple is your transaction? Wherever you are in the world, how is the bank supporting that you're able to meet your immediate needs? You have things you want to do with the bank. Does the bank has that platform for you to make your decisions? Do you have an app where you can go to, you can log in and do, a lot of your non-cash transaction? And that's what Standard Chartered Bank, provide for you. Now, coming to investment, I've already said there are cross-border rules, but we also have, the markets where we have corridors with. So as an affluent client in Standard Chartered, you want to invest or you want to have an account, say in Jersey, you can come to us and they will look at the cross-border rule. If you fit in for the profile of the client they are looking at, Standard Chartered Bank Jersey, then the account is done. You don't necessarily have to even be a resident, in such location. So we have a couple of, approved location. It's not for all the countries because, like I said, there are cross-border rules when it has to do with finance, and we must maintain those rules. We have central bank that regulates the activities that we do. So we are there to comply with the activities of central bank, and the entire financial sectors. If, for example, if you're US citizens, there are things that as a US citizen that you can do, and there are things as a US citizen that you cannot do. So if you come to us, we'll respect the rule of US citizens, when we're dealing with you and all of that. So reason DK will always tell you, it's not the same for everybody. Two of us may be we may be from same parent, but we just have different objective, we have different rules, we have different things that are applicable to us. So we like to treat our clients on individual basis, We're really done a lot of investment in our relationship managers, hiring very knowledgeable senior relationship managers, to help us have these conversations.
Awesome. I think
just to add to that, right? Now, whenever people think about investment, sometimes they always think short term. Now, the average Nigerian wants to make 100% returns in the shortest possible time with zero risk. And we always fall for all sorts of schemes. Now, for us in Standard Chartered, we want our clients, so we do a lot of education. We found out over the years we've had to educate people, re-educate them, reorientate them to understand that you need to choose why you're investing. You need to understand why you're investing. If you're going to travel in a very short period of time, you might need to look at, the kind of instrument. How long should I hold this instrument? Am I going to look for something that is short-term, a treasury bill that will mature in 3 months, 6 months, 1 year? Or am I buying a government bond that will mature in 3 years because I believe that in 3 years' time I'll be going. But in between now and then, I need to be earning income. Or if I'm going to a country that does not have tax implications or very, restricted rules like Chima has mentioned, am I building a portfolio that pays me income in my account that I can use a debit card and swipe? So it's different for every person. And you need to understand that. We like to use a one-size-fits-all. This person is doing it, they've posted it on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, I'm going to do it. Forgetting that all our circumstances are different. Well, unique. Our needs are unique. What we want to achieve is unique. How we can do it is totally unique. So we like people to think about that. So anytime you come to us and say, oh, I have 100 million, I want to invest. Your relationship manager should look excited, right? Like you're bringing 100 million. First question is, of course, what is your objective? That's right. We need to, we'll ask you those questions. Okay. Sometimes clients don't like you asking them those questions. But by the time we sit down with you, you now realize, okay, actually,
safe, yeah.
I asked you earlier, right? Why do you want to invest?
I want to invest because when I'm older, I want to be a big boy.
I like that.
I don't want to be dependent on anybody, but I think that what's most important is, I want to leave wealth. I want to leave a legacy. I want to leave inheritance for my children.
Yeah.
I don't want to speak this way this world is going. I don't want my children to be begging on the street, But, I think we're bringing this session to an end soon. And I just want us to come back home and basically where we started from. And everybody's going to give a point. We're talking about women investing and multiplying money. And while we were talking, Tosin said something very important. Women are risk aware, not risk averse. And I said, drag my wig, because that one that you said the man put everything in crypto, not me. But I know women wouldn't do that. I think that women have a sixth sense and they're very good with, intuition. Yeah. But society has beat them down, making them think that they don't deserve it, or they're not, intelligent enough, or they can't make right decisions when it comes to money. There's some women, you ask them, what's up with the money situation at home? They'll say, my husband is the one handling money. But I think that more men too should begin to even have conversations with wife when it comes to, the financial situations at home. Take advice from women. Work with your wives on how and where and when to invest. And to be honest, I feel like women who are more financially educated should be the ones even handling it at home. But we need to start helping women believe in themselves and be more comfortable with, making money decisions and thinking that they can do it and they deserve it. So I will ask everyone in closing, what would you say to that woman to make her more confident in making that decision to say, you know what, I'm going to the bank because I want to start a conversation to multiply my money or invest my money?
Okay, so my message to women is being a woman is an advantage. You've talked about the sixth sense, which is the intuition and all of that. So you don't have to come from a rich home for you to become wealthy. You don't have to marry rich for you to become wealthy.
That's crazy.
You don't have to have some sort of inheritance for you to be wealthy. Everything you required, you have come to this world with it. All you need to do is get a partner. And that partner is Standard Chartered Bank. We're going to walk with you throughout this journey. And we'll do your investment profile. We understand your kind of person. We understand your income. And then we'll be able to offer you something that will be beneficial to you. And it doesn't matter your age or when you're starting. The most important thing is start now. Thank you.
Wow. Please, can you please give her a hand? Yes.
Okay, so what do I want to say to women? I mean, I speak to women almost every day. About 70% of our community members are women. Like we always say, investing, you're your biggest asset. I'm very aggressive about myself, and people need to start seeing that you are your biggest asset. Listen, the market can crash, the mortgages, the real estate, anything can happen, but you are your biggest asset. So I'm telling every woman out there to invest aggressively in herself. And when you make more, you can't invest what you do not have. So you are able to birth funds, and that funds can then be put into investment. So be aggressive. You're a machine. It's like you having a very beautiful car and the engine is not working. So invest aggressively in yourself. And then when you're able to make those funds, then you're able to play a long-term game and then let the money work for you when you might not be able to work again for that money.
Oh my God. Can we all just like do this? Wow. Invest in yourself. Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. For me, I would say first thing first. Think about it. Today, tomorrow, forever. Right? Today, do you have enough passive income to take care of yourself? Are you planning for retirement? And then are you planning for legacy? But as we think about it, of course, you remember that you need to invest. But I'll leave you with 5 principles. Number 1, invest for the long term. Invest for the long term. Number 2, use market corrections to your advantage. There are times when the markets will go up, the markets will come down. It will create opportunities for you to invest. 3, do not be swayed by short-term sentiments. Things can happen now, and then you might decide to either jump out of the market and lose everything. You forget. The market can shake you and you forget all your lofty dreams, your goals, right? Then, of course, diversify. You cannot put all your eggs in one basket. These are some of the things that people always need to remember. Diversify. And then the last one, do not be swayed, right, by short-term sentiments. I think I've said that, right? Do not be swayed by short-term. Invest for the long term. Use market corrections to your advantage. Diversify your portfolio. Do not be swayed by short-term. Yes, and the last thing, avoid start and stop investing.
Yeah, very important.
Avoid start and stop investing.
Consistency.
Okay, so think about it, but remember, do you want to be a dependent?
A grandparent or ancestor.
No, I'm an ancestor. Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. Please put your hands together for me again. Thank you. All right. I think that every woman deserves to have a legacy. I think that every woman deserves to have something of her own. Women thrive on security, and you have the power to build your own security for tomorrow and not depending on anyone else. It's been a pleasure having this conversation with you guys. This is WealthCast, and see us next time. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.